You're safe now.
In that moment, Loretta could feel a new adventure was just beginning.
Welcome to Ms. Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 Sandra Bullock movies.
Marry me. Because I'd like to date you.
For this list, we're looking at the most notable and memorable roles that this incredible actress has had during her career. What's your favorite Sandra Bullock role? Let us know in the comments. Number 20, Practical Magic. The enchanting Sandra Bullock tried her hand as a witch in 1998's Practical Magic.
There's some things, though, I know for certain. Always throw spilled salt over your left shoulder. Keep rosemary by your garden gate. Plant lavender for luck. And fall in love whenever you can.
Co-starring Nicole Kidman, the two play sisters who are descendants of a woman who inadvertently placed a curse on their family. The film follows both the magic and mundane lives of the siblings as they cope with their mystical connection and the dangers that follow it. Although it wasn't a box office success, it became a cult classic thanks to a twisty story and strong dramatic performances from Kidman and Bullock.
Because we're supposed to die together, remember? At the same time, you promised me that, and this is not that day. I love you, Sally.
They make the fantastical aspects of the movie feel grounded and even painful at times. Together, they definitely cast a spell on us during this underrated gem. Number 19, Love Potion Number 9.
I have met beautiful women before. Many beautiful women. But you are the most beautiful woman I have ever seen in my life.
What would the world be like if you could simply drink something that would make others fall in love with you? Bullock's Diane Farrow and Tate Donovan's Paul Matthews found out in 1992's Love Potion Number 9. Although they play two unlucky-in-love scientists trying to find a partner outside of the lab, it becomes clear that they're meant for each other. While the premise sounds a little sketchy in retrospect, the co-leads keep the narrative from getting too dark. Bullock in particular is incredibly charming as she gains more confidence during the movie.
I have the Prince of England at home, pining for me. I mean, Paul, this is like a dream come true. I could be a princess.
And while this is one of her first romantic comedies, she absolutely nails all the genre cliches we love like she was a veteran. Number 18, 2 Weeks Notice. In 2 Weeks Notice, Bullock's Lucy is a lawyer who clashes against a real estate mogul played by Hugh Grant. While she's more of a straight shooter who sticks up for the little guy, he's more of a loose cannon. The two opposites end up spending a lot of time in the same office after George hires Lucy to work for him.
Before you came into my life, I was capable of making all kinds of decisions. Now I can't. I'm addicted. I have to know what you think. What do you think?
George, I think you're the most selfish human being on the planet.
That's just silly. Have you met everyone on the planet?
Seeing these two clash might have been less fun if they'd been portrayed by other actors. However, their chemistry and Bullock's work is completely believable.
Lucy, I am in love with you.
And I'm in love with you.
She makes us buy that Lucy could fall for the difficult George. Who knew that watching opposites attract could be so entertaining? Number 17, Minions. The banana-loving yellow creatures were introduced to the world via the Despicable Me franchise before getting their own solo movie in 2015. Instead of working for Steve Carell's Gru, they take orders from supervillain Scarlet Overkill.
Steal me the crown and all your dreams come true.
Respect. Power.
Banana!
Banana.
Bullock sounds like she had a ton of fun bringing the over-the-top antagonist to life. She gave Overkill the right amount of power and sass that every villain needs. It's no wonder that Kevin, Stuart, and Bob are easily charmed by her during their wild adventure. While the movie's humor may not be for everyone, it still managed to be a huge success among Despicable Me fans and at the box office.
This is it, boys. Things do not look good for you. Oh, and I'm keeping the bear. You're not gonna need him where you're going. Heaven.
It also had the added bonus of letting Bullock show off her voice acting chops. Number 16, Demolition Man. After LAPD Sergeant John Spartan is sentenced to be cryogenically frozen in 1998, he wakes up in a future 2032 society that's banned everything from athletic events to cursing. Fortunately, he has Bullock's Lieutenant Huxley to help guide him through the new society.
What the hell is that?
John Spartan, you are fined 1 credit.
Bad language, chocolate, gasoline, uneducational toys, and anything spicy.
The satirical film mines a lot of great comedy out of Spartan's serious nature and Huxley's more conservative personality. Bullock definitely shows off her great comedic chops in a performance that feels both ridiculous and sincere.
What are you doing?
Breaking the law.
You are a savage creature, John Spartan, and I wish you to leave my domicile now.
When she isn't making us laugh, the movie provides absurd and eye-catching action scenes between Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes. Whether you come for the explosions or satire of the future, Demolition Man is a fun time. Number 15, The Lake House. While Bullock plays a character who hangs around the lake house in 2006, Keanu Reeves portrays a man staying in the same place in 2004. By some miracle, the letters they write to one another ignore the rules of time and travel to the past and/or future. Their 2-year separation doesn't stop them from slowly falling for each other.
I wish we could have done this walk together.
Despite not physically being in the same place for most of the film, the two still have amazing chemistry. It's also fascinating to watch them fall in love in a completely unique way.
And if you still care for me, wait for me. Wait with me. Just wait. Wait.
While it would have been great to see them physically share more scenes, their distance doesn't take away from the great romantic story of the lake house. Number 14, While You Were Sleeping. Sometime after the lonely Lucy falls for Peter from a distance, she saves him from an incident on a train track. While he's in a coma, she is mistaken for his fiancé.
Sorry, because we really don't understand. Haven't seen him for a long time, so we didn't know. I always wanted him to find a nice girl. I'm so glad he found you.
Lucy tries to keep up the romantic ruse while coming to terms with her feelings for Peter's brother. The main reason we got invested in this absolutely wild premise is because of Bullock. She brings such a tremendous amount of heart to the role that we're willing to overlook her lies and deception. Additionally, it helps that Bullock's natural chemistry with Peter's brother Jack makes us root for them.
I guess you might say he gave me the world. Peter once asked me when it was that I fell in love with Jack. And I told him, it was while you were sleeping.
This absurd story is ultimately done justice by a great cast and a fantastic leading lady. Number 13, Bird Box.
If you hear something in the woods, you tell me. If you hear something in the water, you tell me. But you never, ever take off your blindfold. If you look, you will die.
Anyone who wants to survive the world of Bird Box must avoid removing their blindfold when they're looking around the outside world or face fatal consequences. And while they're inside, they have to deal with other survivors and their own turbulent emotions. This tense premise gives Bullock plenty of dramatic material to work with. She expertly cycles through fear, depression, and heartbreak from scene to scene. And Bullock's still able to convey all these emotions and more whenever she puts on a blindfold. She led an absolutely stacked cast of fantastic actors through this popular horror flick.
Who is this?
Who are you?
How did he get in here?
Shut up, Olympia! Who are you?
He was scared, okay? I just let him in.
You let a stranger in the house?
He was
Are
terrified.
you a simpleton?
Throughout the film, we can definitely see why she was chosen to be the main star. Number 12, Crash. Having received plenty of accolades, including the Academy Award for Best Picture that year, Crash was a film that worked for many reasons. It tells a poignant story about racism through the lens of an amazing ensemble cast. While Sandra Bullock didn't have the biggest part in the movie, she still shined in her ensemble role.
You lower your voice.
And it was my fault because I knew it was gonna happen. But if a white person sees 2 black men walking towards her and she turns and walks in the other direction, she's a racist, right? Well, I got scared and I didn't say anything, and 10 seconds later, I had a gun in my face.
Her Jean Cabot character spits bias statements in the wake of a carjacking. Bullock doesn't shy away from the ugly side of the volatile role. She forms one part of a much larger puzzle that gets pieced together from various angles throughout this film.
I realized that it had nothing to do with my car being stolen. I wake up like this every morning.
I am angry all the time.
It's a small part that may not have been as memorable without her considerable talents. Number 11, 28 Days. In this 2000 comedy drama, Bullock plays a woman with a severe dependency on alcohol that gets involved in a car accident. To avoid spending time in prison, she agrees to go to rehab. For Bullock's Gwen, change comes slowly and painfully.
But you needed it, didn't you? I mean, everybody does.
The actress nails every high and low that the character reaches throughout the film. While there's plenty of recovery tropes used in the movie, we find it all quite forgivable, all because Bullock is steering the ship. The scene where she grieves a friend alone is worth the price of admission.
Because I've heard so many people here say, I just want to use one more time. Andrea's one more time was what killed her.
Although Gwen may have only spent 28 days in rehabilitation, Bullock's performance will likely stand the test of time. Number 10, The Lost City. Who doesn't love a good old-fashioned treasure hunt movie? This time around, Bullock plays Loretta Sage, a Harlequin romance-esque author who is forced to go on an adventure to find a lost city. It's clear from the get-go that Loretta herself loves to write about the action, but not to be in the middle of it herself.
Did you just say shortcut through the jungle?
Yeah.
Okay, do you see us?
Uh-huh.
Okay, you are not Dash and I'm not Lovemore, okay? I'm Loretta and you are Alan. And jungles eat people like us, okay? And I don't want to mess up the jumpsuit. It's on loan.
Her reluctance to dive in makes it ridiculously fun to see her paired with Channing Tatum's more action-oriented model. They star in a movie full of great action, hilarious jokes, and excellent work from stars like Brad Pitt and Daniel Radcliffe.
Loretta Sage?
Yes.
I'm getting you out of here.
Why are you so handsome?
My dad was a weatherman.
Bullock's chemistry with everyone in this great cast easily makes this ludicrous adventure a must-see. Number 9, The Net. Back when the public was still starting to understand what the internet was, The Net provided an unforgettable, if not entirely realistic portrayal of what going online is like. The narrative becomes easier to accept the moment Bullock's Angela Bennett gets on the screen. She's a loner who lives online and doesn't often socialize in person. Eventually, she gets caught up in a huge conspiracy that puts her life at risk. Had this been any other actress, we may not have cared whether she came out unscathed or not. Thanks to Bullock's charm and believability, even a modern-day audience can ignore much of what the movie gets wrong in favor of her performance.
You might want to look at the screen, because everything on that disc was just sent to the FBI. Everything. So, proof that the Gatekeeper program has a back door.
Number 8, A Time to Kill. During A Time to Kill, Bullock plays a vital supporting role. The story centers on serious issues of race, violence, and bias in the justice system. Bullock serves as a member of a legal team who's trying to find a way to make the system work fairly for all.
You ever seen a man executed?
Not that I recall.
All right, then what I suggest you do is you go watch a man be executed. You watch him die. You watch him beg. You watch him kick and spit the life out of him.
While she handles the dramatic material well, she also brings charm and sass to the role. Bullock fully commits to whatever the story requires in each of her appearances. A Time to Kill can be a dark and challenging movie to watch.
I'm so sorry. It's all my fault.
No. Don't sweat it, really. They didn't hurt anything that won't heal.
But thanks to performances from a cast that includes Bullock, Matthew McConaughey, and Sam Jackson, it's worth stepping into this courtroom. Number 7, The Proposal. For the most part, Bullock's comedic roles have leaned more towards her portraying more positive characters. The Proposal was a nice break from all that. Seen as the meanest of mean bosses, it's almost unsettling to watch her be so terrible to Ryan Reynolds.
They're looking for terrorists, not for book publishers.
Margaret,
Yes?
I'm not going to marry you.
Sure you are. Because if you don't marry me, your dreams of touching the lives of millions with the written word are dead.
As the two are enveloped in a scheme to help Margaret keep her work visa, we inevitably see a character transformation. Like most romantic comedies, early on you've already figured out the two will end up together. But the path Reynolds and Bullock take to get there is hysterical.
Would you please, cherries on top, marry me?
Okay, I don't appreciate the sarcasm, but I'll do it. See you at the airport tomorrow.
Good.
These two ridiculously talented actors were clearly always meant to bump heads in a rom-com. Number 6. Ocean's 8. Bullock takes over the popular heist franchise by playing Debbie Ocean, the younger sibling to George Clooney's Danny Ocean. While the previous outings mainly featured male-heavy casts, this movie brings in a strong group of actresses.
Seems to me 8 shares of 150 million is better than 7 shares of nothing, right? Chilly.
Hi, Daff. Welcome to the team. Let's not all high-five at once.
Bullock's Debbie pulls them all together to orchestrate the theft of a $150 million Cartier necklace. But even that's really just a setup for an even bigger heist of jewels. It's extremely entertaining to watch Bullock guide her excellent co-stars through a heist.
Without that diversion, without clearing out the exhibit, we wouldn't have been able to grab these, which bring your cuts to $38,300,000 each.
While we won't spoil all the twists and turns, we promise that Ocean's 8 will steal your attention. Number 5. The Heat. What do you get when you combine a Hollywood heavyweight like Sandra Bullock and the always hilarious Melissa McCarthy? A fantastic and criminally underrated buddy cop film. In The Heat, McCarthy's unhinged detective is paired up with Bullock's by-the-book Sarah. Their opposing approaches naturally lead to a lot of conflict and outrageous scenes. Despite their differences, they make a team that isn't great, but surprisingly effective. The duo excellently weaves through a script that requires emotional vulnerability and willingness to go to extremes for comedy.
I'll have you know, I dress appropriately. I
got it. It's when this, your big flapping mouth, starts running, and then you put this get up on top of it, and it's just it's a boner killer.
Unfortunately, plans for a direct sequel to The Heat never came to fruition. Well, at least fans of McCarthy and Bullock's team-up will always have this funny crime film. Number 4. Gravity. This space drama sees Bullock portraying a doctor named Ryan Stone, who's out on her maiden voyage to space. But when her calm mission is thrown into complete chaos, she has to fight to make it safely home to Earth.
Give me a visual.
I told you nothing. I see nothing.
You have a visual of Explorer.
No.
You have a visual of ISS.
No.
You need to focus. Anything to the sun and the Earth. Give me coordinates.
Breathe.
Much of the film follows Stone trying to stay calm and level-headed while physically isolated from many of her allies. As a result, the audience's attention is completely focused on Bullock for most of the narrative. Her acting is just as stunning as the incredible space visuals and cinematography.
I know, we're all gonna die. Everybody knows that. But I'm gonna die today. Funny that, to know.
Plus, she should have won an award just for enduring all the dizzying film work. Bullock absolutely commands a space drama unlike any we had seen before. Number 3. Miss Congeniality. One of Bullock's most iconic roles saw her play the tough FBI agent Gracie Hart. She's forced to step way outside of her comfort zone when she goes undercover as a beauty pageant contestant.
I'm in a dress. I have gel in my hair. I haven't slept all night. I'm starved and I'm armed. Don't mess with me. Whoa. I'm fine.
Since Hart doesn't normally care about her looks or being personable, she struggles to fit in with the competitors. Her difficulties lead to a wide variety of great comedic exchanges behind the scenes and on stage. Despite all the jokes about Hart changing her physical appearance, the story sweetly reminds us to always stay true to ourselves. It doesn't matter whether Bullock is stumbling in heels or using self-defense as her talent.
Solar plexus, instep, nose, right!
We are completely in love with Gracie Hart. Or should we say Gracie Lou Freebush from start to finish. Number 2. The Blind Side. Initially, Bullock was reluctant to portray the role of Leanne Toohey in 2009's The Blind Side. She was tasked with playing a woman with strong religious beliefs who takes in a foster child named Michael.
We thank you for bringing us a new friend, and we ask that you look after us on this holiday season, that we may never forget how very fortunate we are. Amen.
Amen.
Toohey does everything she can to help him become a serious football player. Fortunately, Bullock changed her mind about the movie after talking with the actual person who inspired her role. The actress is a force of nature in every frame. Bullock completely transforms into her real-life inspiration throughout the dramatic role. And her relationship with Quentin Aaron's Michael is incredibly believable and raw.
What, Michael?
I need a proper hug.
After the movie was released to great acclaim, her work earned her an Academy Award for Best Actress.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications.
Number 1. Speed. A straightforward premise paved the road for one of Bullock's most iconic films. In the movie, she plays a character named Annie who's trapped on a bus that will explode if it goes less than 50 miles per hour.
If he gets the money, he wins. If the bus blows up, he wins.
What if you win?
Then tomorrow we'll play another one.
But I'm not available to drive tomorrow. Busy.
Fortunately, Keanu Reeves is there playing an officer named Jack who is determined to save her and the other passengers. Annie goes from being a hilarious bystander to being extremely pivotal to everyone's survival. Bullock and Reeves also display their considerable chemistry throughout every twist and turn the bus makes. While the film certainly goes to ridiculous places, they keep us fully invested in every moment.
You gotta get off the train! Jack, please! This track 10 ends. Jack, come on, you gotta get off this train. This is crazy.
There's a curb ahead. I'm gonna speed it up.
Nearly 30 years after its debut, this Reeves and Bullock vehicle is still an exciting ride.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from Ms. Mojo. And be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.